Hello everyone and welcome back to Nate's Vintage Trains. This is the best of Southern California live steamers. I will be discussing a bit of how I got into the club, since this is how I got my foot in the door with live steam and ride-on trains in the first place, as well as, of course, showing some of my favorite moments and clips from being part of SCLS for 3 years. Please do enjoy the video. So I only grew up a mile away from this little club in Torrance, California, which meant I used to patronize this place, well, my dad and I, as a kid, including this early photo of myself on the back of one of the train cars. This was my first exposure, besides Thomas, to trains. But some years would pass before I got back into the club. This would be because of my troop in Boy Scouts. There were a number of Eagle projects that happened on a regular basis at the club, including track work, sort of beautification stuff, including a lot of railroad ties, as well as my own project, which is this trolley mock-up using some fence material that I painted to look like a Pacific Electric trolley. The club did improve it shortly thereafter, and boy, I really enjoyed it, and now it's quite the standout piece around the club for display. Nice homage to Torrance, and Pacific Electric, of course. And besides, they already had their own Pacific Electric trolley, which I also got to help work around, not on, with another Eagle project. One of these projects, I saw the first steam locomotive in many years at the club that has operated. He operates it regularly, but at the time, this was my first time actually seeing it. And it was always fun having a train ride with an Eagle Scout project. So it was around July of 2021 when I was hanging around the railroad tracks next to SCLS, checking out some construction work that was going on, and one of the club members, in fact the president, offered to show me around, and I helped out with some track work for the first time. Boy, he reeled me in right, and I got to operate the Greenie number 777. This is the first ride-on locomotive I have ever had the chance to operate. So I was shown around inside of the clubhouse for the first time, including locomotives on display that I would later have a history with, one in particular. And this was in 2020. So, come October of 2020, during another Eagle Scout project, the treasurer finally asked me, "Are you going to join the club?" And I took him up on that offer later that same day, and got a shirt to boot. After that, I would help out with some days, including occasional steam-ups that I would observe, not really participate in, though. And, come July 4th of 2021, the club would finally reopen from the bout of COVID. Keep in mind, this is the state of California. And for that opening day, one of the steam locomotives, in fact the one that I saw operating at that Eagle project, would make public runs. Great looking piece, and I would operate and help out with crewing the BNSF 2019, as you saw previously. So on the off weekends when trains were not running, or even some Tuesdays during the week on the work days of the club, I would just help out, volunteer, do various things. One of those days I did go out and pull some of the steam engines for taking some photographs of, like these. Back when my channel was still Vintage Rails, I did take the opportunity to film an intro with the full-scale and small-scale trains. Someone, for no reason, had to do their Festiniog Railway impression. And it becomes even better when I do invite some friends over to SCLS for the first time, including Alex and, later, Richard, whom you shall see. Also, what's notable is I got to operate a steam locomotive for the very first time of any size at SCLS, and it's that same 060 locomotive that you saw at the Eagle Project and on the opening day from COVID for SCLS. Also in 2021 was the 80th anniversary of Southern California Live Steamers, founded back in 1941. This was the run day for the founding day of SCLS, September 18th. Now this is 2021, so do your math, I already did it for you. And there was still one original member who is alive today. He was 3 at the time when the club was founded, but his father was a part of the club already, so I think it counts. The artist Harlan Heine. You can find him online pretty easily, and him and his family decided to pay a visit, and he did get a lifetime membership, and bless his soul, he's still with us today. Now we introduce Richard. He's a firm friend whom I first met at the Lomita Railroad Museum because Alex introduced me to him, and the 3 of us have been firm friends since. He definitely took to SCLS like nothing. Alex and Richard I invited to help out with the 2021 Halloween night runs, which SCLS definitely needed help with, considering some of the crowds of people. And here he is on his first day running as engineer, only shortly after becoming a conductor. He already had some railroad experience prior, including international. He has his own small channel, and of course he's on Instagram too. But one of my favorite videos I've made, personally favorite, had to be Day in the Life of an SCLS Conductor. You can check out this video and everything else that I highlight here in my playlist for Southern California Live Steamers. Also came around was the Christmas holiday light runs, which I have videos of already. Soon after was New Year's. That meant the annual fun steam up run. People with their locomotives could come down, at least that were club members or guests, and run steam or ride on the trains. However, this did not strictly go to steam locomotives, also some model steam tractors that Richard brought that he owned. Speaking of that locomotive I saw that I'd have a history with, well, this is the one, the General as it's now nicknamed. Looks like a bit of a Christmas tree, but it is the first time I have ever operated a coal-fired steam locomotive. SCLS is where I got a lot of my first time steam locomotive operating training, including some of the big steam, RMI Sweet Creek 260, and later a 262, which you shall see.
We turn the cylinder cocks off now. Remember, it's that orange one right there that's up, right down. Perfect.
And any of you remember that steam locomotive Richard and I purchased jointly? Well, this is the first air test that we've had. And you'll also see the first time we're trying to fire the thing too, both of which are not very successful considering this thing needed a lot of work, and Richard has full control of the thing by now since I'm in Arizona, a completely different state.
Yes, it has to be.
it was that same day that I got to operate
There you go.
the California
Cylinder
Pacific
cock's
number
open
2,
too. That orange
which
valve.
is an RMI 260
Skip
locomotive.
straight up. There
Very
you go.
large equipment, which is the largest produced commercially for 7.5-inch gauge.
You just got me real nervous.
No, you're all good.
SCLS was also the first place that I got to test out my first first locomotive period, which happened to be an electric locomotive. This little battery-powered Mack I purchased from a gentleman up in Bakersfield, and this little engine you shall be seeing more of in the near future. I really hope so. So, to give you an idea, this is 2023. I've already refurbished my locomotive once, and I'm going through another refurbishment as we speak. So, when I got my flat cars first built, this is where I decided to test them out at Southern California Live Steamers before heading out to different meets and actually giving them a proper run-in and break-in. So here we have Alex operating my train, and this is the last time it would be at SCLS, at least for the foreseeable future. It has not been back yet, but who knows, things might change. And this was the last time I was at SCLS before moving to Arizona. I would like to do an update video at some point for SCLS, what improvements have been made since the 9 months, maybe 10, that I have been living in Arizona. So, might see that in the future, might not, I don't know yet. There's always a chance. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned, I will have meet videos coming out next week for Orange County, and then after the end of October, November, I will have videos from Los Angeles Live Steamers as well. Hopefully by then my locomotive will be operational and I might be able to bring it to Los Angeles. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe, comment, like, all the good YouTube stuff. Keep it old school, Jesus loves you, and of course, God bless you all.